So now we'll talk about how to set up this SpecFlow in the Visual Studio. So getting started with the SpecFlow in C Sharp. So first of all, before installing the SpecFlow in the Visual Studio, we need to have the prerequisites. One is, so you must be ready with the Visual Studio setup in your system, whether it is a Windows or Mac. So once you're done with the Visual Studio or any latest version like Visual Studio 2022 is ready, then you have to install the any framework, .NET framework like .NET Core or .NET framework. Any of the framework should be installed in your system, and you should have that NuGet packages, NuGet package manager for managing the dependencies. So this is not required to install it. These two are mandatory. So Visual Studio any latest version and .NET Core or .NET framework must be installed in the system. So once this setup is completed, then you have to open this Visual Studio and go to the extensions. So once you open the Visual Studio, it will ask to create a project. No need to create a project. You just go with the continue without code. Once you get into the Visual Studio, and then you go to the menu, there is an extension menu. So from the extension menu, you can find the manage extensions. You can search for SpecFlow. So you have to select the SpecFlow and you have to download that. So once it is downloaded, then you have to restart your VS so that the SpecFlow is going to update into your Visual Studio. So once you restarted, then okay, almost your setup installation is completed, and then you have to set up the project. So you need to create a new SpecFlow project in Visual Studio. Just open the desktop, search for SpecFlow project in the Visual Studio, then create that with your .NET framework or any .NET Core or .NET framework. And then once the project is created, the default template will be available in the frame project. So after that, you have to integrate the SpecFlow with the NuGet package in the project. You have to go to the manage NuGet packages. If you want to work with the SpecFlow, or you need to install SpecFlow libraries from the manage NuGet packages. So writing feature files in Gherkin syntax. So if you want to know about the Gherkin, what exactly the Gherkin, so it is available in my previous video. You can see that how exactly behaves the Gherkin in the BDD in the SpecFlow. So writing the feature file in Gherkin syntax, structured scenario outlines. So define the scenarios outline using the given, when, then format for clear testing scenarios. So we are writing the scenarios in the form of given, when, then. So by using these keywords, Gherkin keywords, we are writing the scenarios. So we will write a couple of scenarios and we'll try to understand that. And readable and understandable. So whatever you write the scenarios in the form of given, when, then, Gherkin syntax. So those are very easy to understand because it is completely human readable format. So anyone can understand, even non-technical team member also can easily understand that because Gherkin syntax is in plain English text format. And next, mapping the feature files to step definitions. So association, that means the first part is association. Associate the Gherkin steps with the corresponding to step definitions in C#. So once you write the scenarios in the feature file, okay, once you're written, you have to generate the snippets. You have to generate the snippet for each and every step in the scenario. So that is called step definitions. So once the step definition is ready, then we can go and implement the actual logic in the step definitions and we can work on it. And second one, code reusability. The code reusability is very, very important in any framework, any test automation or any development. So the reusability is very, very important. So code reusability is nothing but reusing the step definitions across different feature files. Let's say you have a bunch of scenarios. There are common steps are there. You don't need to create multiple step definitions. So if you can simply create one step, it is going to apply for all the scenarios. I'll give an example. There is a login functionality. There is a registration functionality. So for both of these scenarios, launching the browser and navigating to URL is common. So we can make these two steps are common, and we can reuse these two steps as a code reusability. And next, integration. So seamless integration of Gherkin with the C# code and executing SpecFlow test in the C#. So the test execution, reporting, debugging purpose. So test execution, so run the SpecFlow test with the appropriate configuration and tools. So we can run these SpecFlow test in many ways. One is from the test explorer, and the test explorer you can find the number of tests based on the scenarios which are written in the feature file. And second thing is we can run it from package console manager. And third one is we can run it from the any CI/CD pipelines. We can run it from the Jenkins, or you can run it from Azure DevOps. So based on the category type, or based on the category, so category wise test cases, we can run it. We can also give the tags wise test case running kind of things. And reporting purpose. So generate the detailed test report for analysis and debugging. So we have the default report in the SpecFlow that is going to give a complete analysis of the report. So we can easily find that. And debugging, we can also debug the tests, that when it's failed in the SpecFlow environment. And reporting and analysis with SpecFlow. So we can have the custom reports, create custom report with the targeted details for efficient analysis. Uh, Custom report means, we have bunch of, the third party reporting tools like, extend report, LU report, AUT reports. There are so many type of, other reports um, for Selenium automation testing. So we can use that extend report for your SpecFlow, and you can customize your extend report to more readable way. Okay. Data visualization. So visualize the test results and trends using the charts and graphs. So you can see the trends means, how much parts percentage, fail percentage, what is the growth uh, from the previous run or this current run. Okay, model wise trends, you can see that the graph, you can find that number of scenarios fail, number of scenarios pass, number of scenarios skipped. So those kind of visualization you can see in the form of graphs and charts. So now we'll see how to install this SpecFlow in the Visual Studio. Open this, and you can go with the continue without code. In the top, you can find a menu called extensions. From there, you can go to the manage extensions and type SpecFlow. So you can select this SpecFlow option here, and you will be able to see the download option here, because I have already installed this SpecFlow in my Visual Studio. So that's the reason it's showing in the green text mark. If you're first time installing this SpecFlow in the Visual Studio, and then it is showing like, like this. So you can just click on this download, and it's going to install it. And after that, you have to close it. And once you close, and you just have to restart your Visual Studio. So once you restart Visual Studio, it is going to update the SpecFlow. So you just have to click on the modify option over there. You just have to click on that, and then it is going to update the SpecFlow in the Visual Studio. And what next? So we have to create a project that's called SpecFlow project. So this is a test automation SpecFlow. This is my project name, and you can give the location wherever you want to store it. This is the workspace actually where you want to keep your project source code. And there's a solution name. You can change it if you want, and the project name and solution name can be different. Create. So this is a framework which I'm choosing here by default, 6.0. And you can see the .NET framework 4.8 also. You can select any one of these .NET framework or maybe .NET Core. Anything is fine. So I'm selecting .NET Core 6.0. Then the default framework, test unit framework is a NUnit. So I'm going to use only NUnit. So I'm just selecting this, create. All right, so my project is ready here. This is my SpecFlow project. And there you can find the default folder structures of the SpecFlow project is, features and step definitions. You will see two folders mainly. And the other one, the drivers and support is other one. So it doesn't have anything. Open this feature folder. You will see a feature, calculator.feature file is created by default. You can remove this. It's not required. And also you can remove this. Before start writing any features in the SpecFlow project, there are a few more configurations I have to do it. So I'll go and create SpecFlow.json file. And say JSON, type JSON. This is SpecFlow.json. So inside this, you can have the predefined. You can Google it. You will find this data. Just find this. Just copy paste. I'll discuss this later. So this one is MS test, right? So we are working on NUnit. So it should be NUnit. And remaining we'll discuss it later. So let me go back and create one more file that is called app.config. So in the app.config, it is a file. I'm giving the file. So let me give app.config. So this is going to be XML file. So this also you can get it from the Google. And this is a SpecFlow. And this is a framework, unit testing framework is an unit. And these are the keys. We can discuss it later. So these are not required right now. And this is for database connection purpose. We don't have any database right now. All right. So the running framework is a .NET 60, right? So 6.0. So it is a 60. Runtime framework is .NET 60. 6.0. Fine. All good. And then I'll go back. Now it's a time to create feature file. Right click on the feature folder and create a new item. There you can find feature. You can say, I can go with the register.feature. So you will get this kind of error message. Just ignore it. Open this. And this is, so I can write as a new user need to register to website to log in to the application. So now I have a scenario, sample scenario. This is the functional scenario, successful registration. So these are the bunch of steps that I need to automate it. So user launch the browser and navigate to site URL, and user click on the registration link and verify the title of the registration page and select the gender, first name, enter the first name, enter the last name, email address, password, confirm password. Finally, click on the registration button. And after this, click on the registration button, then we have to verify the successful message. Then we have to go with the logout and close the browser. So till here, the test is going to end. So for this, I have a test data here. The first name, Purikala, and last name, Ramesh, and this is the email, testing at orchidtestingtools.com, and password testing123, and confirm password testing123. So with this test data, I'm going to automate this scenario. But this is a sample scenario which I've written, right? So in the notepad, but I want to convert this into the SpecFlow BDD formats. So go to the Visual Studio, and here is my scene. So I'll just copy this. I'm just going to change this. So my scenario is successful registration. This is my scenario now. I'll remove these tags right now. All right. The first keywords given. Given user launch the browser and navigate to site URL. All right. So when user click on register link, and here I want to verify it. So in that case, you must use then keyword. And then fine. And when user select the gender, that is called male example, gender male. So I'm just changing this one. And when user enter the first name, so I'm just going to hard code it. So you can put in the double quotation. So that is called Vika. And so I'm going to use and user enter the last name. So I'm just giving Ramesh. So this should be without space. Right. And user enter email address can give that testing at arcadetestingtools.com. Double quotation. So the hard coded value will be given in the double quotation. You can give in double quotation to pass the values to your scenario, your test case. So user enter the password. This is I'm giving testing 1 2 3. and user enter the confirm password, and user enter the confirm password. It is called same testing 123. And when I click on register button, then I verify registration successful message, that is called, there is a message registration completed. So this will change the message. I'll change this message later. And then when user click on the logout button, then I close the browser. Then user closes the browser. Or you can say I close the browser. All right. So you can use when also, is not a problem, but finally I'm ending with the then. All right. So I have an application demo. Click on the registration link, then title of the registration page, and select the gender, enter the first name, last name, email address, password, and confirm password. Click on the registration button. So let me take, we'll change this message later at the time of automation. All right. So once you're done with this, you need to generate the snippets. That's very, very important. You're done with the scenario creation in the feature file, correct? So right click on this feature file, and you have an option called as define steps. So it is giving a warning message that is called all steps have been defined in this file already. This is wrong actually. We didn't define anything. Just close this. Just close this. First time when you're running this feature file in the Visual Studio in your project, first time you're doing it, right? So first time when you're running it, you just have to, after completion of the scenario, you come back to a project, right click on the project, clean it, and rebuild it. See, the color of the scenario steps got changed. It is into the purple color, right? So it got changed, and also you can able to see in the text explorer, you'll see that this is the scenario created. So now you have to right click on this one, define the steps now. Okay, you see that there are two options. Either you want to copy this to clipboard and create a new step definition file, or you can directly want to generate the step definition file. But my recommendation is to go and create the step definition file. This is the first time you're doing, right? So you just go on to create it. Second time when you're adding the steps in this particular feature file, then you can copy the steps. First time you have to create it. Register step definition. Keep it as it is. Create it. So it's got created. Awesome. So now you can replace this with empty. I'm just removing all the unnecessary code. So this is completely a empty step definition file for the registration. All right. So since we're working for Selenium with C# SpecFlow, so definitely the Selenium libraries are compulsory required. That means Selenium dependency libraries compulsory required. So where do you install that Selenium? You have to right click on the project, go to manage NUnit packages. In the manage NUnit packages, go to the browse and type Selenium. You'll see that the Selenium.WebDriver, the latest version of Selenium WebDriver 4.18.1. Install it. I think it is already installed. So it didn't install. Yes, it is installed. Now it is showing uninstalled, right? And what next? Chrome driver compulsory, because you are going to work with the Chrome browser. So you can select the Chrome driver. You see that Selenium.WebDriver.Chrome driver. This is very, very important. There are a lot of options you can see, but you must select this Chrome driver. There is a symbol. I mean, there is a icon here. Select that, install it. Yep, I think it's done. You can retype once again, Chrome driver. Yes, it is installed. Now let's go back. Now actually you have to implement the logic for the Selenium, right? So what is this? Given user launch the browser and navigate to site URL. So first you need to create a web browser instance for the Chrome driver, then you have to navigate to the site URL, then maximize the browser. All these three steps will be available in this particular step, first step, right? All right. But I want to make some changes here. Okay, instead of writing all the things in this particular class, like creating the WebDriver instance and everything, let me go and create a one more file called as one more class called as base class. Okay, because I mean, going forward, this framework is going to be, I mean, this project is going to be with the complete framework. So I'll go with that structure only. Right click. I'm just creating a folder. That folder called as a base classes. Okay, that's the base is enough. In the base, I'm going to create a base class. Okay, listen carefully because why I'm creating this. So this is for code reusability purpose. I'm using it. This is a base.cs. So I'm making is a public. So so what I'll do in the base class, one thing, first thing, create an instance for WebDriver. Number one. Second thing is close the browser. Okay. So first I'll go with creating an instance. So public void. My method name is setup method. Setup is setting up the browser. So for that, public iWebDriver and driver. This is my driver object. And for this, I'm going to create Chrome driver instance. New Chrome driver. Yes. So this is going to create, this is going to create the Chrome driver. Chrome browser. So it is launch the Chrome browser. And then after what you have to do, you have to navigate to the site URL, right? So navigate dot go to URL. And there you can give the site URL here. So where is my application? This is my application. Copy this and paste it. And going forward, I'm not going to use this as hard coded. I'll be using from the config files or maybe some other area. And then maximize the browser. Manage dot window dot maximize. And I have one more method. This is for starting the your Selenium. Then we have to go with the tear down method that is called closing the browser. So we can to close the browser, right? Driver dot close. The simple method, driver dot close it. And driver dot close is closing the current browser instance. Okay, browser instance. And we can also have the driver dot quit also is there. That is closing all the instances of the Chrome browser. It is not required. Now let's go back. Restart step definition. So since I'm initializing the browser in the base class, so that I have to extend it. Java, we are using extend keywords, but here we are using colon. Okay, base. So base dot base. Yes. Now you can use the setup method directly. In the bottom, we have the closed browser, right? So there you can write tear down. Yep, it is coming. Tear down. Now in between, we have to click on the registration link and all these things. Okay, driver dot find element and a by dot. So sometimes it is getting confused. You see that by dot. When I type by dot, it is converting into the dot small by, right? So control Z, and you just have to control dot. You need to import this using OpenQA.Selenium. The by is going to import here. It is part of the OpenQA.Selenium. Dot, you can write link text, ID, name, partial link text, XPath, class name, CSS selector, all these things. So since my object is a link, okay, I can give the link text. Link text is a register. I can use link text. That's called register. It should be the case sensitive. Okay, I have to give the same name. Dot click. That's it. It's clicked on the register link. Then you need to verify the title, right? So that's very, very important. The title. How to get the title here? You can also inspect element. You can also view page source is enough. Here is the one. But you have to click on the register link. Copy this title. All right. So the title is, anyway, I didn't write any title here. You can write, if you want write, you can write here also. That's not a problem. But it won't change if you write there itself and there here. No problem. And driver dot title. To take the title of the page, use simple command driver dot title the city. And this one I'm going to store into the title. All right. But you have a title, right? So this is the actual title. This is the actual title coming from application, coming from app. But you need to verify with your expected title. So in that case, you can use asset dot. So we are going to use NUnit, right? So just simply asset dot or equal. So we are equaling this title as well as the your expected title. I'm putting into the this one. And when click on the gender male button, right? So I'll go back and have to take the property of all these things. Very simple. So I already told, okay, in my previous sessions, I already told that how to take the XPath. So you have to install that selectors hub for Chrome extensions, for Chrome extensions. So I'm just going to install this because the selectors hub is very it help us to take the XPath or CSS selectors very easiest way. No need to write custom all these things. So once it is installed, then you have to restart your Chrome. So demo web shop. Right click, selector hub, and copy any absolute XPath, you can say, or maybe relative XPath is fine. Relative XPath. Right click, inspect element. You can try to find that. Yeah, it is matching. I'll just copy this XPath. Okay. I'll go to my Visual Studio because this is going to improve your productivity because it will be very fast to writing the all these things. Driver dot find element, the by dot XPath. So I'm going to take the XPath is a common for all, and this is going to be clicked. And what about this first name? Right click, select hub, copy, delete XPath. Yes. Driver dot find element, by dot XPath. And this is going to be the send keys, right? So we are entering the text in the text box. So this is this data is coming from where? Feature file. So this is F name, first name. I'm just giving the variable name as F name. Can pass here. And what next? Driver dot find element and by dot XPath. So the last name, select hub, copy, relative XPath. Control F, it is editing. So then send keys. And this is going to be last name. So L name. Right. And this is going to be email address, password, confirm pass, driver dot find element, by dot XPath. So you can take the XPath of email address. Yes. Paste here. Dot send keys. That you find email. And driver dot find element, XPath, password. Yes, it is highlighting. Dot send keys is the password. I'll copy all these things once again and confirm password, right? So change this confirm password, copy this and paste it. And click on registration button. Select a hub, copy to XPath. Yes. So now driver dot find element by dot XPath dot click. And once it is registered, I need to verify the message, right? Message. So how to do that? So let me register with some dummy data. Yes, this is the your registration is completed. Okay, copy this. I need to change this in this one. Registration is completed. Your registration is completed. Let's go back to the step definitions and here. So you want to get the text of this particular. You have to get the text of this particular element. So right click, select a hub, grade XPath. So this is the result XPath. So driver dot find element by dot XPath. This is so from this I want to get the text. So in Selenium Java we have get text. Here we have only text. This is the text. All right, what next? I want to asset it, right? So I want to asset it. Yep, it is coming. Message is coming from this is actual, this is actual, and this is expected from the feature file. And click on logout. Right click, inspect element, try to XPath. Yes, logout. And drive dot find element. Drive dot find element by dot XPath can find dot click. Yes, your job is done. Now sort. So now I think we are ready for this one. Now, once it is done, just save this, and rebuild all your project. So once you rebuild it, and just simply right click on this one and run it. So it has successfully restored to the website. So this is how you can use you can write the scenarios with the Gherkin syntax even when then. So this is completely hard coded value. You can write for login scenario, and you can try with the login scenario, and you can practice it.